I'm joining you as a result of the 6th conversation in the State University of New York's strategic planning process. We're here in Plattsburgh, and SUNY Plattsburgh has been our host, and we've been talking about quality places. It's amazing. I think of all the themes that we acquired from the 64 campus visit, one of the surprises might have been that we added quality places to our list. But in fact, that's what I heard repeatedly on the 64 campus visit. The pride people had in place, not just the place of the campus, but the place called Plattsburgh. And as our guest speaker, Ira Harkavy, who's a faculty member and an academic leader at the University of Pennsylvania, said, this is all about doing good for our communities and for ourselves, and by a consequence of doing good, he said, doing well. Isn't that interesting? Doing good and doing well. And if we have the kind of relationship, campus to community, where we focus on the greatest interests and challenges of the community, we will not only do right by our communities, we will all thrive. So a word that comes to mind is reciprocity. This is kind of a reciprocal relationship between the interests and the capacity of our campuses and the needs and interests of our community. So a thing that I thought was most interesting about the day is that in talking about community service and service learning and volunteerism and our faculty and staff and students working and living in the communities and hopefully deciding to live there for a long time, even after graduation, we've discovered that it's possible to connect the dots of our other conversations. It's interesting, arts and culture came up today, health and welfare came up today, the education pipeline, our commitment to diversity, sustainability, how all that comes together in our service to community was pretty amazing. In addition to this inspiring talk by Ira Harkavy, we had people do an advanced homework assignment, and people came up to the mic and actually shared with us what they thought were examples of quality places on their campuses. So we kind of had a little contest. We had people submit their ideas. We selected a half dozen of them, and people came and spoke freely about what they think communities and campuses have in common, what the place of campus can do for communities. And I think we heard a lot about this notion that SUNY and the campuses would set a high watermark for hours of volunteerism, service learning, how community relations ought to be a part of our courses and our curriculum and our degree programs. And of course, in many instances, that is already the case. So I would look for us to make a very audacious statement about our commitment to community in the SUNY strategic plan. In fact, as I recall, several people went to the podium and said, you must put this concept at the forefront of our strategic plan. So we're nearing that point where the strategic plan is really coming into focus. Next week we'll be in Syracuse. We are being sponsored by Upstate Medical University. We're going to be talking about health and welfare, quality health care. That's February 25th in Syracuse. We will also be having a couple of added symposia the first week in March, one on globalization, one on research and innovation. Now, the good news for you is that Generation SUNY has this all covered. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we had people tweeting today. We can bring these conversations to you on a continued basis. So I just have to say to you, it is always my privilege to update you on the State University of New York, our strategic plan, and don't forget this wonderful Empowerment Act that is before the legislature and is really going to help us become, for the state of New York, the greatest possible contributor to the quality of New York's life for its citizenry and our economic revitalization. So again, thank you, Generation SUNY, and thank you for listening.